Hey guys, welcome back. So in our last lecture, we have seen list interface with an example. In this lecture, we're going to learn ArrayList with an example. So what is ArrayList? So ArrayList, one of the implementing class of list interface. So ArrayList class is a resizable array which can be found in java.util package. The difference between regular array, as we know, and an array list is that the size of a regular array cannot be modified. It's a fix when you declare a regular array. If you declare a regular array like size 3, you cannot change it. But on the other hand, you can change the value of the size of your array list by remove elements from the array list whenever we want. So array list size is not fixed. It's changeable. It can be shrink or you can expand as you need by removing elements. It can have a duplicate values with a different type of data. So in the same array list, you can store integer value, you can store a string value, and so on. Array list maintains insertion order following the index number. In this, we don't need to mention the length of the array list since the size is free. So we don't have to mention the size when you declare the array list. Instead of this, its length increase as we add new object, or it will shrink when you remove the object from the array list. Array list never stores the primitive value. Other than it stores values or element as an object. It's a very important information. It is an object. What is primitive value? It's like regular, the integer string. But other than it store the, your values or elements as an object. So we can create an object of ArrayList class and store integer. You can see it's a full, I said integer for int for integer value, boolean for boolean, character for character, double for double data using wrapper class concept. So what is wrapper class? I have a detailed, the separate lecture. Please watch that. But just in a nutshell, wrapper class are those classes which are used to wrap primitive variables or values in such a way so that they behave like an object. And the wrapper classes are like, those are the wrapper class like integer, the character, double, or boolean, or string. Those are the like full integer, not int, like integer. Integer, this is itself a class. Boolean itself a class. Character itself a class, or string itself a class. So those are called wrapper class. Okay, so it's not the primitive data type we use int. I mean, it's stored that it's the integer type, but when you use intger, so that time it will consider as an object of a wrapper class of integer wrapper class. Okay, but it's storing data type is integer. Okay, please watch my wrapper class lecture so you will have a better idea. So the very common methods in ArrayList are add, get, set, remove, size, clear, contains, index of, and so on. There is a parameterization concept you can apply in ArrayList also. It means that we're allowed to restrict the ArrayList to store only same type of data. So as I said, like, in primitive, in an array list, you can store multiple type of data, mixed type of data, as well as you can strict to store only the same type of data also. That's another flexibility of the array list example. You can store, if you like declare your array list, and if in an angle you put integer, and when you and also in the both side, it means in this array list it will only store the integer type of data. Here you're declaring your integer object wrapper class. It means the storing data would be integer type. Okay, Let's see an example. So here is a class I created called ArrayList demo. Here we'll create an ArrayList object with a different type of data. As I said, like, you can restrict the parameter of the ArrayList with a specific type of data, like a string, integer, but here we'll see an example with the multiple sets of multiple type of data. Then in this ArrayList, we'll add element, adding the, using the add method. Then we'll see how we can retrieve one of the specific element from this ArrayList following the index number. Then we'll remove one of the element from the list. Then we can even see and then we'll see or retrieve all the elements from that list, and we'll ensure that the one of the element that we removed, it's not showing on the list also. And also we'll see that how we can retrieve the data, or array list through that using a iterator method. So this is the one of the method that we always we frequently use in our Selenium automation, to traverse through a array list. Okay, so we'll see this use case. We can use the for loop, or also you can use the iterator, so any one of the, or for each loop. So we'll see all those use case, so that when you are going to see this use of the iterator method for array list in your automation, so you can correlate with this. Okay, example. So let's see. So first, let's create an object of the array list. Okay. So to create an object of ArrayList, I'll say new, and then it will say ArrayList. Create an ArrayList, okay, ArrayList, and then puts in a list, puts in a variable. Say example, I would say list, okay, and the return type would be your ArrayList. Okay. Then hover your, and you can see that I didn't declare the data type. So because that's I'm saying that we're going to create an object with a different type of data. Since it's a different type of data, so in that time you don't have to declare the type. So if you want to make it one specific, say you can say over here, string, then it will be fixed. This array list will be fixed to store only the string type of data, which we have seen in our last example for this the list interface. But here we're not going to declare any type of data. It means you can mix any different type of data. Okay, so here hover your mouse, input the package, which is java.util. Okay, now using the list object reference, so we can call the method is called add method to add any object. Okay, so first I will store say integer type of data. Okay, then again call the list dot add method. Okay, let's store string type of data, so it's a mixed different type of data, right? Say sorrowful. Okay, and then let's use the list again dot let's add 10.25, say, okay, decimal, and then list dot say character. Okay, let's add the character. So character for character is a single quote, say C. Okay, and then let's Boolean type of data. It's true, add, okay, true, so it's a Boolean. Okay, and then you can even use add a null value. List you add it, add list puts a null value. Okay, okay, now if I want to print, let's see this, if I want to print the sysout, okay, sysout, let's pass the list variable over here. See this, what shows, run, you can see it shows an array. It's like an array. So you see array list, it shows an array, like this is my array list, and in this array list I have stored all different type of mixed different type of data, like 10 shuffle, your decimal character, boolean, and a null. Okay, now you can even get the size of this your array list. What is the size like an array, right? So we can also get the size. So same way I sys out, I can get, okay, size of the this array list is, you can apply the size method. It will give you the size of the array list. Okay, this will give you the size of the array, and then you can, okay, so if you want, let me see the size. Here the size is 6, right? 0 1 2 3 4 5 is the indexing, but total 6 elements, so its a size is the length, right? So it's a 6th length. But after that, now let's do add elements to the list using, so we already did that part, right? We already did that part. Let me copy this one and puts in here after we declare. So we already did this part. We added the element using the add method, right? What's next? Next is retrieve or fetch the value as per indexing. So since it follows indexing, like indexing 0 is 1, a 10, and a 1th index is full, and this is the 10.25 is a 1, and so on. So 2 index this one. So this is following the indexing. So you can retrieve one specific value, like a list we have seen. You know, the list and array list, it's pretty much follow the same rule, because you know, array list is the implementing class of the list. So you know, like a list, I can also retrieve the data in array list following the index number. So example, if I use sysout, okay, sysout, and then I will say list, list dot, and following the get method. So get method, and you can pass, you can pass the index number here, right? So any index number, what do you want? I want say this is shuffle, so it's an on 1 index number, right? Or if you want, yeah, let's 1. Okay, save it, run it. Here we go, you can see shuffle, right? So following the index number, you can retrieve any specific element. Okay, now if I want to, so next is, let's remove any element from the list. Let's say I want to remove let's see, I can remove list so 0 1 2 3 4. This is a boolean value, okay, or null. Okay, let's remove the 5th index. Okay, so it's same thing we'll do. We'll say using a remove method, sysout. Let me remove first, then I will print it. So list dot remove method, and then pass the index number. It's very simple. So what's the index number? 5. Okay, 5. Now you can, let's see, you can print the array list. Okay, show the array list. So sysout, and then I would say list pass variable list. So in this case, now you can see in the 5th index I have null, right? So it shouldn't be there now. In, you know, this is the updated list after remove it. So let's me run it. Just noticed here. Okay, now here, as you can see, the previous is null here, but this is the latest one. This is the latest one after remove, following the index number 5th. So now it's, the null is gone. Okay, this is the updated index number. So this is the way you can even remove. It means you can shrink your array list. Okay, you can add or expand, you can also shrink. Now let's see, retrieve all the list through the for loop. So we can use a for each loop to retrieve each and every value, you know, from this array list. Okay, so let's see how can I do this. You can use for each loop or for loop. It's totally up to you, right? Easily say, I can say if you use for each loop, it's for, then what's the variable is, all right, variable is list, right? And then Let's use a for loop because we have seen the for each in a previous one. So let's use the for loop. So in a for loop, let's I'll declare integer I equals to 0 from the 0 index. Okay, then the how many times the loop we need to go through. So it depends on the size of the loop. All right, depends on the size of this array list. So I will say it should be less than the size. It's a list dot. You can put the size method. We already found the size method, right? Use the size method we have seen. So it will give me the current size of my array list. And then let's see, do the increment for the value of I so that it moves to the next iteration. Okay, and then let's see this out. Right now, I'll list the get method to retrieve the value, list dot get, then pass the index number as an I. So I is now it's right. So when its value of I is 0, it means it will get the value of the first index, this one. Then it will go to the increment part, will update the value of I 0 to 1, and then it will check the condition is true, right? And then it will come to the next, so it will get the next value of the, because it's increment the value of I 0 to 1, so it's here. So in this way it will get each and every values, right? Let me run it. Here you can see, so this is my array list, and here is the value I retrieved from this list: 10, Shuffle, 10.25, C, and true. Okay, so all this was all the values over here. So you can retrieve the value using your for loop tool. However, you can also retrieve the value from using a iterator method. That's an object. So what is an iterator method? So what is an iterator method, or iterator is an object? So an iterator is an object that's associated with a specific collection. It lets you loop through the collection step by step. The two iterator methods are very famous that you need to know. One is has next, and another one is the next method. Let's see a little bit more explanation how it works. So come over here. So assume that this is your array list. Okay, this is your array list. Array list. Okay. So in this array list, this is your index, right? This is your index. You have a number of elements, different type of elements, index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So if you apply iterator object, that's traverse through your collection, like you traverse through your array list, that can help you to retrieve the data from this array list. It has two methods. This iterator object, it has a two method, and it works only in collection, in a collection frameworks. So any object in your collection frameworks, or either it's the ArrayList, the LinkedList, you can apply iterator to traverse through that collection to retrieve the data. It has, as I said, it has a two method. You need to know, one is has next method, another one is the next method. So what is has next does? So has next, it's return Boolean value like true or false. It returns true if there is at least one element, in the collection being traversed. So in your collection, if you have at least one more element, it has at least one more element in the collection, to start the traverse, or through the traverse, being traversed, that time the has next method will return true. So in an easy way, we can say that in your collection, in your array, example, in your array list, if you have any element stored in this array list, like in example, in the 0 index, I have a 10. So array list, so if I say in an easy way, so your has next method from the iterator object will check the next, is there any element it's available in your next index. That's it, in your array list or your collection. So it will just verify, will check, before it does anything, it will check is there any elements available. So example, index 0, I have a 10 elements, and that time it will return true. It will return true. It will say yes, there is an element. And then there is a next method from this iterator object. So this next method will get the value, of this from this index, from this element, from this your array list, for the same index number, like in the 0 index, it will get the value like 10, and then it will move, this next method also will move to the next index, so like index number 0 1. Okay, so example, it has a name is shortfall. And then again, this has next will check is there any element available in this index number. So has next will check if there is a real element or value data available in your index number. That's it, it will tell you true. So if there is the element there, then next will get that value, next method will get that value and will move to the next index. That's the way, using help, helping or get the help, or using this two method from this iterator, you can cover your entire array list or your collection framework, retrieve all the values. Here I can use while method, while loop. In a while loop, I will use the object of your iterator. So this is the object reference of iterator object. So itr, example, itr.hasNext, it will check. So it will hasNext always check is there any data available in your next index, so in example 0. So if it will tell you true, so if it's true, it will come to your body of the while loop. And in a while loop, I will call again from this iterator object itr.next method. So next method will get that value, and it will move to the next index. And again, it will go back to the loop, will go back to here. In the while, it will check, hasNext will check again, is there really data available in this index number 1? And it will, if there is a data over here, it will return true. It will come inside the body and it will get the value using the next method. So this way, and if you want, you can print it. This way you can get one by one number, move to the next. It will check the actual value, and if it's true, it will move to the next element, next index. And that way it will cover each and every element, or it will traverse and retrieve all the values using your iterator object. I hope that is clear. Okay, let's get back to our Eclipse. So here now we're going to use iterator method. So if I want to use iterator method or object, I have to call iterator method or object. Okay, so, and which is the part of the collection framework. So it means it's a part of also your array list. So I can use, so it should be part of your collection frameworks. So I can use object reference of list dot, then it's a method is called, or object is called iterator. Okay, and then puts in a variable, this object, the iterator object. Let's put in a variable is called itr, and then return type. Okay, so it's better to say it's iterator is an object other than saying that method. It will make confusion. So it is an object. Okay, that's help you to traverse through your collection. So any collection, ArrayList, it's a collection, right? And it's a store data. So hover your mouse, so import the package. You can say change to iterator. Some reason it's okay. Let's see. Okay. Oh, it's right. It's a return type should be this, like this. Okay, add type of argument. I believe this is right. Okay, and now I will say let's use the while loop, while, and then let's use one of the method from iterator object, from this object dot, it's called hasNext. You can see this is the hasNext. It will always check first if there any actual value or element available in this list and in your array list. So then it will sell true, and if it's a true, definitely your compiler will get inside the while loop as I explained. So then we can retrieve the value. We can retrieve the value calling another method from the iterator object is called next. You can see next method. So next will get the value and it will also push to the next index, and has next will check that in that index is there any value or not. Okay, save it. So let me make a comment up there for this for loop. You'll not see any difference. Okay, maybe let me show you here. Sysout, let's say system without println. I'll put over here one. Okay, retrieve list through iterator method. Okay, so let me this one, and here let me put also one system.out.println, right? So that's fine. So let me run it. Very good. You can see. So here is a retrieve list, through the iterator method. So it's a 10, sureFull, 10.25 C, and true. So this is our latest ArrayList value, and it's retrieving using our iterator object, right? So that's the way you can use the iterator. It's totally up to you what's the object or method or process you are going to use to retrieve the data. But this is a full complete example that's give you the clear idea, the use case of the ArrayList, and also the features or different methods. Thank you.